Good morning, everybody. Begin today's session now. Yeah. So this is the first question for the day. 3 holes have been drilled through a cube of 5 by 5 by 5 units. From the options given, identify the form that can fill the holes perfectly. So you have to identify which of these forms will fill the holes perfectly in the cube. Okay. So here, how will it happen? This is how the internal structures of the hole will happen. If you observe the lines very carefully in the diagram, this hole which you see here, this hole is made up of 1, 2, and 3 units. 1, 2, and 3 units. Okay, in this line. So there will be, this whole structure will be made up of 3 units like you see here in the diagram. 1, 2, and 3 units like this. Further, when I look at another hole, which is this hole is made up of using 4 units. 1, 2, 3, and 4 units. So 4 units will come here. Okay, like this. Outside this, the cube which you see on top, this cube is made up of, we'll check how many units. That is made up of 1, 2, and 3 units. So, and then the third unit will join the blue colored line here. So, we have a 3 unit vertical. You have a 4, sorry. Let me just draw the whole structure here. This might look a little bit confusing. So in that L that you see here, this will be the 3 unit structure. And this will be the 4 unit structure. And the third unit will get attached here like this. The vertical one, which you see here. So this is the green colored one, which you see here. This is the blue colored one, which you see here in the diagram. And this is the red colored one, which you see here. So what you find is the red color is made up of 3 units. This is 4 units, and then this will be 3 units. We'll first check the option where you find that possibility. A has 3, 4, and 3. So yeah, we'll keep that on hold. B has 3, 5, and 4, not possible. C has 4, 4, and 3, which is also not possible. And D has 4, 3, and 4, again not possible. So only option A is the one which we had kept on hold is correct. Okay, we'll move to the next one. The image in the box given below shows a 3D object. Only one of the options shows the same object from a different view. You have to identify that. Okay. We are given an object, only one of the objects shows the same object with a different view and the others are not. You have to identify which is that object. So option A, when you go from option to option A this part is a little bit problematic, which is this one, because its proportion galat hai, so A is wrong. B, C, and D, when you compare all of them together, you will find that option B, or rather when you compare B and D together, let me put it that way, because they look very similar in terms of view. There's one issue in either of the case. I'm not saying both. B ka ye part or D ka ye part is very different. Versus in the question figure, this is how it looks like. If you observe, D ka proportion galat hai, so D will be wrong. between B and C, again, when you compare, it then comes the question of this part, whether it is inward or in case of option B, that part is happening outward. It looks outside. So which way does, sorry, not that one, this figure. Which way does that figure look like? This figure, sorry, this one, it looks inside or does it look outside? This one. So which way does it look? It looks actually outside. If you look at the question figure, which is that same diagram which we compared with D. So C is wrong and option B will be the one which will be correct. Okay, we'll move to the next one. Given below is a list of idioms with animal, bird, fish, insect origin. Each of the 4 options contains 4 meanings. You have to identify the option that contains 4 correct meanings for any of the 4 idioms. Any of the 4 idioms. Okay. I've given an idiom list. In the options, you have provided 4 different meanings of it. Some meanings match, some meanings may not match. You have to identify the correct option where all the 4 words provided match with either of the idioms. Okay. So these are all the meanings of the idioms and the words from the options. The blue colored letters, they are the words from the options which correctly match here. So option A, may brave attempt is something which is not written here. Okay, I'll just first go from idioms to idioms. Elephant in the rooms means obvious or something too big or an enormous topic. Hold your horses means to be patient or to wait or be patient. Pig-headed means not prepared to change your mind or say that you are wrong, or you're stubborn, or you're obstinate or adamant. Wild goose chase means a foolish and a hopeless search or a foolish pursuit. Wolf down means to consume food quickly or greedily or to devour. Red herring means a clue of information that is misleading or subterfuge. Go to the dogs means deteriorate, shockingly or deteriorate. Hogwash means nonsense or subterfuge. Sacred cow means a person that is very well respected and who is not questioned or criticized. Clam up means abruptly stop talking. So option A, the brave attempt jo hai, we don't find any meaning here. We don't find any idiom associated with it here. In option B, bluff ka any association is not there. In option D, recalcitrant, cleanup or protected interest is something which is not there. So only option C is the one which is correct. Recalcitrant means headstrong, refusing to follow instructions or rules. Yes, and I agree you may associate with stubborn also, but it's not that closely associated. Let me put it that way. Okay, we'll move to the next one. Choose the set of words that will correctly complete the following 5 sentences from the word sets given in the options. First one, he lays or lies the book on the table. Here, the correct answer, sorry, let me just first read it. The new rules affected positive changes in the school. The road through the mountains were tortuous or torturous. The nurse was able to staunch or stanch the bleeding. When rain threatens, fans are reticent or reluctant to buy tickets to the cricket match. So, and then we are given set of words which we have to find correctly matches it. I'll go from statement to statement. He lays or lies. It will be lays, not lies. So B and D are wrong. Next comes in both of them affected is given, so we don't have to worry about that. Next one. Here, in this case, we are provided with the nurse was the road through the mountains were tortuous or torturous, which either of them. So tortuous means it is complicated with many bends, and torturous means it is torturous. It is literally torturous. So that's not possible. Also, torturous नहीं आएगा इसमें. इसमें tortuous आएगा आपका correctly. So from there itself, tortuous will be there. Okay. So tortuous नहीं आएगा इसमें. Sorry, torturous नहीं आएगा. Tortuous is the one which will be correct here. So from there we can obviously deduct that option D works. But if you're still not clear, like if you still have any doubts from there also, you can look at the next part, which is stanch or staunch. Stanch means you are able to keep a check or stop the flow. So there also your doubt is clarified, and C galat aayega and D will be the one which will be correct. Okay, we'll move to the next one. Our natural dash to focus on the unusual, the dramatic, and the dash is strengthened by newspapers and other media. But our interest dash quickly as well. So which of the words will fit in here? You can go from, in this case, it's easier to go from option to option. For example, for the first place, our natural dash, it can be aversion is still possible, penchant is still possible, proclivity is also possible, dislike nahi aayega. So we are removing that. To focus on unusual, dramatic, and the dash. Now here grotesque means something which is bad or ugly or gothic, or in some cases even growth, which is ugly in nature. So that is not possible. Unique or new is still fine. I mean, unique is problematic, but it's still okay. We can still fit in here. Is strengthened inestimably nahi aayega, it will be immeasurably. So there itself B is eliminated and C is the one which will be the correct answer here. Okay, move to the next one. You have to identify the option that will bisect the given shape into two identical parts. You're given a big piece. Which of the lines here or which of the options here will divide or bisect the shapes into two identical shapes is what you have to identify. Okay. So here in this case, A or B may say you might get confused, but B is the one which will correctly bisect the shape into two equal parts. Like if in case of A, the line comes here. In case of A, I'll draw it a different color. The line comes here. Sorry. Here. In which case, we will be left with so much part which is extra, which won't be required. So that's why A nahi aayega and B is the one which will be correct. Okay, move to the next one. Shown below are two metal boards. Suppose they were rotated at the same rate in the two directions as shown by the two arrows respectively, what would happen to the distance between the two boards? If you are rotating the two boards in the same direction, they will actually remain at the same distance. There won't be any movement except for circular movement that you are doing. So in this case, option C is the one which is they both remain at the same distance will be correct. Okay. We'll move to the next one. Three positions X, Y, and Z are marked on the cutting edges of a pair of scissors. You have to rank the point in terms of cutting strength from strongest to the weakest. So here, X, will it be XYZ, ZYX, YXZ, or all of the equal strength are the options. So in this case, it will be exactly how it is written here, X, Y, and Z. X will be the strongest, Y will be comparatively less strong than X, and Z will be even lesser strong than X. So A will be the one which is correct answer. Okay, we'll move to the next one. The shapes given in the options can be used to cut figure 1 into number of identical pieces. Which shape will cut figure 1 such that all four symbols are included in each of the pieces and no symbols are left over? No symbols are left over. There's no one piece which is left over, and whatever shape you find has to cover all the four symbols. Okay. So this is how it will happen. If you observe the options very carefully, A and C are the same. B is the T and Z में ये Z वाला दिया. if D में Z वाला figure है. So here A और C में problem आएगा आपका. There will be pieces which will be left here like this, or even this one. That's not possible. This is option B. जहां पे ये वाला फॉर्म जो आपको दिया है ऑप्शन बी में is given, and then the Z part will come here. जो इसको आप अरेंज भी करोगे, you will be left with groups like this or even like this, which will be left empty. So that is also not possible. This is also not possible. So only option B is the one which is correct. Okay, we'll move to the next one. The given figure 1 is cut into pieces. You have to identify the option whose pieces can be correctly assembled to form the figure 1. Here, in this case, we are given this piece and then we are breaking it into pieces. Which of these piece assembly will resemble H figure, this figure 1? So this is how the options happen. This is A, this is B pieces, this is the pieces shown in C, and this is the pieces shown in D. In case of option D, we are actually missing one square, so that's why D is not possible. The case of figure B, it is only possible, but provided that each square, when you divide into two triangles, and that too all triangles are of the same side. We need 12 squares to make D. Likewise, if there are equilateral triangle, likewise, if there are right angle triangle, we actually need 24 triangles to fit in option B. So B भी नहीं possible है, because in the question figure आपको option B में अलग-अलग size के triangles दिए हैं, which is not possible. With case of option C, will be left actually with weird shapes like this, which are provided here, or squares like this also. So C में नहीं possible है. Option A is the only one which works here. Okay, we will move to the next one. Below is an animation sequence of Raju playing with his hair. However, except frame 1, all the others seems to be mixed up. You have to identify the correct order, which is the correct order. You're given the order. Now here in this case, it is easier if you look from option to option and then try to identify what will happen next. Like for example, in the option A में 1-6 है, B में 1-7 है, 1-6 C में भी दिया है और 1-7 C D में भी दिया है. Whether the next will be 6 or 7 frame. So 1 के बाद it will be actually 6 frame, which is the logical, because hair का जो form है वो same रहता है, little bit shifting, and because it's animation sequence only, little bit shifting will happen. So 1 के बाद 6 आएगा. So आपका B गलत आएगा, D भी गलत आएगा. Between A and C, then you are left with 7 आएगा या 5 आएगा after that. So after that, again from 6, which is the next frame which shows easy or gradual movement of the hair or the mouth or the eyes. So D7 में वो gradual shift नहीं है. This is a very weird shift or a drastic shift which happens. So correct one will be chosen, will be 5. So A will be wrong and C will be the one which will be correct. So in this case, I'm able to get the answer even without cracking the whole sequence. Okay, we'll move to the next one. An angry bird is flying in front of a pinhole camera as shown in the picture. If it flies back in the opposite direction, what would be the image cast on the inner wall of the camera? You have to identify when the angry bird is moving in the opposite direction, which will be the correct image cast on the inner wall of the camera. Now, yeah, 1 second. So the angry bird is not moving here in this direction, but it is moving in the opposite direction like this. So when you're looking at an object in the through a pinhole camera, you will find that the object will be rotated 180 degree in the resulting image, like you are seeing in the case of the person. The person का image उसको 180 degree rotate कर दो तो वो image यहाँ पे ऐसे generate होगा. So if the angry bird, in this case, the angry bird is looking like this, because when it flies in the opposite direction, it actually looks like this. This is direction is opposite. This is moving in this direction, and this is when the direction is opposite. The base इसका यहाँ पे है, इसका base यहाँ पे है. Through the pinhole diagram, when we are looking at through the pinhole diagram, because we are rotating it 180 degree, the base will come here and the beak will come here. So option B is the one which will be correct, which is 180 degree rotation of this part. Okay, we'll move to the next one. A short interview is being planned for live TV as described. For filming it, 4 cameras, 1, 2, 3, and 4 have been placed as seen in the image below. From the options given, choose the sequence that was most closely followed. Which of the sequence was most closely followed? We'll go from statement to statement. We start with establishing the interview space and close up to the interviewer. First, we are looking at the interview space. There's only one option which shows the whole interview space, which is 2. So, आएगा आपका पहले 2. So, B is wrong. 3 वाला जो फिगर है वहां पे सिर्फ 2 इंटरव्यूई और इंटरव्यूअर ही दिख रहे हैं, वर्सेस 2 में आपको you can see everything. You can see the table, the glasses, or anything which is kept on sides. That's why 2 will come. And then close up to the interviewer who introduces the interviewee. So the interviewer is seen in option 4, I mean the camera 4, and then the interviewee in 1. So then introduction will happen. So 4-1 आएगा, 4-1 आएगा, and 4-1 आएगा. After 3 questions, as the interview continues, we shift between both of them as the questions are answered. So 3 questions are answered after this. So 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, 3 बार आएगा इसके बाद. So 4-1, 4-1, and 4-1. So A holds. C में it's 3-1, so C गलत है. D में it's 4-1, 4-1, and 4-1, so D also is on hold. After that, either it's 2 or 3. Between A and D, when you compare, either 2 आएगा या 3 आएगा. 2 में we are seeing the interview space, and 3 में we are seeing the interviewee and interviewer. So after 3 questions, we end the interview showing both of them in the frame, and then close with showing the interview space. So after that, after the 3 questions, which is here, we see both the interview and interviewer together. So 2 the 3 aega, and then we end with the space, which is 2. So D is the one which will be correct and A will be wrong. So correct answer is option D. Okay. We'll end today's session with this. Thank you so much for your time.